So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Zombies has been leaked all over the internet for the past few days. Now, personally, myself, I actually hate looking at leaks. I don't like when they come out. I don't like getting stuff spoiled, but one thing that I haven't been able to avoid, and has been all over my timeline, all over my Twitter, is the removal of Jug. Now let's talk about this for a minute, because Juggernog has literally been a staple of Call of Duty since perks were first released. Now in the beginning, when the perks first came out, we only had 4 perks. It was Quick Revive, Speed Cola, Double Tap 1.0, and of course, Jug. The only change to these 4 perks that they've made in the entire time Zombies has been a thing is that they changed Double Tap 1.0 to 2.0, which is basically, the gun still fires twice as fast, but the bullets also do 2 times damage, which was just a great quality of life perk change, because Double Tap 1.0 is pretty darn useless in my opinion. Now my actual thoughts on if this thing is removed go a little bit like this. Whether or not I am happy about this change depends on a few things, namely how they implement this into the game. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I was not a fan at all of the World War II armor system. I understood what they were trying to do and trying to change up the meta of every single time you spawn on a zombie map, you basically hoard points and you get to Jug and you buy Jug as soon as possible, and it was super expensive and kind of hard for new players to grasp onto, on basically not going down until you get Jug and playing safe until you get Jug, and then you kind of move along with your day. My main gripe with World War II is that every single time I took a hit of damage on my armor, I felt compelled to buy the armor, and it made it basically so I wasn't worrying about playing the game, I wasn't worrying about exploring the map, I wasn't worrying about just killing zombies, I was worrying at all times, I can't lose an armor here, I can't lose an armor here, dang it, I lost an armor here, better go spend another 5,000 points, up to 10,000 points even, on another set of armor packs, which was just a decision I didn't feel like was meaningful, and basically just added a lot more just depth to the game that didn't necessarily make it better. Now, if the direction of this game goes in the system of World War II, I am absolutely not going to be a fan of it, and I really hope there are options in the custom mutations to change it back to either a different system altogether or just going back to the original system of buying Jug. Now on the other side of the coin, this could be a huge improvement to Zombies if they add it in another way. Now before we go any farther, good old-fashioned spoiler alert here for you guys, because now we're going to be talking about the leaked list of perks that possibly could be coming out for this game. Once again, it's not even confirmed if we are going to be losing Jug. This is just a leak based off of some information that someone has leaked who has been kind of like reputable in the past, has kind of had these leaks and then been correct about some of the stuff. So once again, take it with a grain of salt. It is not the final game that they might have had the leaked version of, or been able to playtest, or whatever it is that they're getting their information from. It may not be legit, but for fair warning, spoiler alert with the set of perks that could be coming out in Black Ops 4. Here we go. So first, let's discuss the different perks that are not going to affect defensiveness and Juggernog related things, because that is kind of what we're talking about in this video. So I want to get through the other things first and then get into those Juggernog type perks. So first of which is a perk called Deadshot. You guys know Deadshot, you love Deadshot. Actually, everybody hates Deadshot, but surprise, it is possibly returning in Black Ops 4, and again, the description of that is just improved headshot accuracy. Obviously, we all know what Deadshot is. Obviously, we'll never buy Deadshot, but it is back once again in the game. Next up is Electric Cherry is returning, which is one of my favorite perks to exist in Zombies ever, if not my favorite perk of all time. I absolutely love Electric Cherry. Again, you guys know how that works. Defensive barrier on reload, it shocks all the zombies around you. Absolutely clutch. I love this perk, and I'm super glad to hear that it is quite possibly returning. Next up is Mule Kick, which allows you to carry 3 weapons onto the battlefield. Obviously, we know how Mule Kick works. Hopefully, they do implement some sort of system in Zombies where maybe you can hold down triangle to get to your 3rd weapon, or something to kind of signify how this Mule Kick is working and what gun is your 3rd gun that you're gonna lose if you go down and lose this perk. So hopefully that's more clearly indicated, something that would be a little bit nicer and kind of quality of life change. But again, obviously that's how it works. Quick Revive, Fast Revive or Auto Revive in solo. We know what Quick Revive is. If you don't, that's kind of weird that you're on this video, but that's back in the game. Stamina up, of course, we knew probably was going to be coming back. It gives you longer sprint and faster sprint speed, which is absolutely just clutch. All right, so we've gotten through the old perks. We've gotten through the things that we've seen in the past. Now let's get into some of the new perks that are going to allow you to play this game in a little bit different ways. First of all is Bandolier, which allows you to carry more reserve ammo. So if you are a guy who loves rocking that SMG on round 57 and you just constantly are running out of ammo, this is the perk for you, man. Bandolier, especially if double pack punch is still in the game and you get things like Deadwire, this is actually going to be an absolutely necessity. If you are using wonder weapons, if you're using weapons like that, Bandolier is going to be a perk that is just all over high round play here, and especially those people who like using wonder weapons and stuff like that. Bandolier is going to be a great perk. Next up is PhD Slider, which is obviously a huge piece of fan service, man. Everybody loves PhD Flopper, but it is basically going to work like Banana Colada. You slide, and then there's going to be an explosive blast that gets charged by sliding. So obviously, this is a huge fan service. Everybody missed PhD, and it is now back in the game, so you can use those explosive weapons without any care in the world, and also jump off of very high heights and be completely fine. Next up is Time Slip, which decreases cooldown time on equipment, perks, and teleporters, which is a very interesting perk because that is kind of like leading into some of these other perks that I'm going to be talking about that actually affect health and defense in just a second here. But this is going to basically decrease cooldown times on a lot of these different things that may now, maybe if you have frag grenades equipped on your class or something like that, maybe now frag grenades are a cooldown timer, kind of like how they are multiplayer, you know? It may be something completely different than that, but that is honestly what it sounds like to me, is that a lot of our equipment and perks and things like that are going to be on cooldown times, and Time Slip is going to help us, and that leads perfectly into our first of our defensive perks. First up is Widow's Wail, which is similar to Widow's Wine, but taking damage activates a defensive explosion, obviously how Widow's Wine works, which freezes the zombies and requires 2 charges before cooldown. So basically, it's like Widow's Wine, but you get 2 charges of it instead of 4, but it is on a cooldown. If you lose all of them in a single round, you still have a chance because it's still on cooldown. It'll go back through. And this kind of gives me an idea of how Jug is going to actually work without it actually being in the game, but I'll talk about that in just a second. Next up is a perk called Death Witch. Upon losing the last of your health, you are given a second chance and buffs. Not only are you given a second chance, but you're giving buffs as well, similar to Jug. Has a noticeable cooldown though. So basically this is going to be, instead of going down into, you're down but not out state where you can be revived, or if you get auto revived with quick revive and solo, basically this Death Witch perk is going to say, hey, you're not down, here's a second chance, but this is going to have a gigantic cooldown, which is where that Time Slip might actually come into play, especially if you're playing a pretty darn hard map. Next up is a perk called Perception, which is the ability to see zombies through walls, also receive an on-screen indicator when a zombie is approaching from another direction, which is kind of like Sixth Sense and wall hacks for zombies as a perk, which is obviously going to be a huge factor. And a lot of the time when you go down, a zombie sneaks up behind you and he just windmills you and you are just dead as a doornail. That's honestly a lot of the time when I go down, it's a zombie that I had no idea was there, and it just windmills me, hits me like 16 times, and then I'm down. With Perception, that's not going to happen anymore. You see the zombies through the walls, you can plan your approach a lot more accordingly, and it's honestly a huge defensive perk. Next up is a perk called Stronghold, which provides a defensive zone around the player while shooting. Now, that, I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know how a defensive zone works, if it's just going to be like, kind of like the staff that we saw in the trailer where it slows down on zombies all around it and then you are safer inside of it. I'm not really sure exactly how that's going to work, but I'm very interested to see what that actually means. And obviously that is going to be a huge defensive perk that kind of would help you not necessarily need Jug. And last but not least, Tortoise. If you have the buildable shield equipped, then you are protected on all sides. An explosive blast is unleashed when the shield is finally destroyed. So this is very interesting. I don't know if they mean the buildable shield equipped as in it's on your back, or it is in your hands, because if this works where basically you have the shield on your back and you're protected on all sides, that's a huge huge like upgrade, man. And that is a perk that you buy that basically upgrades your shield into obviously a protective shell, kind of like a turtle there. So we'll see how this works, but this kind of gives me an idea of what Juggernog is going to actually be like and what your base health is actually going to be like in the game whenever we finally get in and start playing Black Ops 4 Zombies. So that was a lot of perk information and basically how those perks are going to work in Black Ops 4. Obviously, once again, with a grain of salt there, because we don't know for sure until the game actually comes out or we get this information confirmed in trailers. That being said, though, I'm excited. I'm hopeful, and I like the way that this could possibly go. Basically, what I think Jug is going to be in this game is it's not going to be a perk. It is going to be a base increase to your health as a player that is farther upgraded by the perks you buy. So there's just as much a dependency on getting a perk that, say, lets you get a second chance whenever you get down. Getting a perk that is Widow's Wine, but on a cooldown, so you don't even have to worry about getting your grenades back. You don't have to worry about, I lost all 4 of my Widow's Wine, now I'm screwed for the rest of the game. This is on a cooldown. You get 2 of them, boom, boom, and you're good to go. You know what I mean? Like, it's a different kind of, like, health system, yes, but one that I believe Treyarch has made such good decisions in the past. They've made such good maps in the past that if this was not working, if this was not a way that is a positive benefit to the game, I think this could be a huge positive thing in Black Ops 4 Zombies, especially after hearing those perks. I don't know about you guys, but for me, that is getting rid of a perk that basically everybody just buys because you have to buy it. You are putting yourself, there are literally challenges to not buy it. It is a challenge if you do not buy this perk. I think getting rid of that and bring that up for all these cool new perks, these different things that you can run, not having to worry about getting quick revive Jug every single solo game, just getting quick revive and then figuring out what kind of playstyle you want to go into. If you want to go, hey, I'm going to be running and gunning a lot, I want to get this all shield sided thing. If you're training and you want to get a Widow's Wine perk, you know, it allows more kind of depth to the game in a way that I think will do it way better than World War II did, in my opinion. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, barring that these leaks are in fact true and good old Juggernog is just going to be gone forever, it's time to kiss old Nessie goodbye and kiss this video goodbye. Let me know your thoughts down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next video.